Hey guys, TerraPup here, and today we're going to be talking about virtualization focused on Libvirtd. Libvirtd, for those of you that don't know, it is one of two popular virtualization softwares that you can use on Linux, the other being Zen. Uh, I have used Libvirtd now for 16 years. I prefer it over Zen. I will use Zen, but I just prefer it. Proxmox uses Libvirtd as part of their backbone with QM, and it's really nice. And some of the reasons that I've always loved using Libvirtd is the fact that you could take a hard drive, create a logical volume, and present that to Libvirtd as a physical hard drive and get incredible I/O output. But I want to talk about a strangeness that I am having with Debian. So, current version of Debian is Debian 12, and for the life of me, I can't get any verts to start. So the reason we have two orange pies in front of us is this one's got Debian 11 bullseye, and you're going to see that stuff works. This has Debian 12 on it, and when I start up the vert, nothing's going to work. Okay? We're actually going to start with this. I am trying to determine what has changed between 11 and 12 that it stops working. I actually installed 12 on the Desk Pi Cube that's running an Orange Pi CM4, okay? Because I couldn't get anything to work on 12. I messed with it for a couple weeks, but I'll be honest with you, ever since 12's come out, I have been fighting trying to get Libvirtd to start a vert on, now let me be specific, on ARM, okay? Proxmox does work, okay? If you're using an Orange Pi, you do have to take in consideration big little, which means because there are 8 CPUs and 4 of them are of one type and 4 of another type, you just can't go out and say I'm going to use 6 CPUs because it's not going to work because of the different architect being used. So this has 8 cores, but I've gotten it to work on Debian 11. So again, we're going to look at 12, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like when it's running. Feel free to leave comments below if you're getting it working on ARM, okay? And what version you're using. I'm almost to the point I'm probably going to grab Ubuntu 24.04 LTS to see if maybe there's a chance it works. And just to show you guys something, I've had real good success. Let me bring this into the picture. So this is a Radix 5A. It's got 1 terabyte on top, and I do have it in a Raspberry. Whoops, I just unplugged it. Not good. Anyway, I did have real good luck getting this working on this, but again, Debian 11. And I think the power supply dropped off of my power strip on the back from pulling it too tight. Not a good thing to do, but it happens. So I'm going to go ahead, get the Orange Pi 5B hooked up. Okay, I've already got my keyboard mouse into it. Let's go ahead and we're going to use this power splitter. It is USB-C. So that up. Go ahead and get our Ethernet in. And I'm going to go ahead and bring over my Ethernet, and I'm going to hook up the power here in a second. I do want to go ahead and flip over to Miru. That's the capture device that I'm using, and show it boot up. Okay. All right. So with these power splitters, you do need to have a power over Ethernet switch. I have one behind. Okay, I've shown videos about it. So we'll go ahead and hook this up. And these are running about $25. Igor from Armbian actually recommended this one to me. And I do have power, so we're going to now turn off the overhead, turn on Miru, and hopefully here in a second we will have an image. Okay, let me try one thing real quick. Okay. Huh, it just came up. Interesting. Normally I would get, you know, the boot screen, but oh well. As long as it works, that's all that matters. Okay, so I got my new Logitech K585 or 585. This is a beautiful keyboard. If you're looking for something that is Bluetooth and dongle, this is great. I'm kind of glad that I did get a Bluetooth and dongle one because still having issues getting Bluetooth to recognize the keyboard. Recognizes mice. There's some work in it. I'll show that in a future video. Okay, so as you can see, we're on the Orange Pi. Just to show you guys that Libvirtd is installed. There's my Virt Manager. I'm going to go ahead and start it up. And you have to give the account that it's kind of tied to. And as you can see, we do have the rel image created. And let me just go ahead and show you guys a couple other things real quick, okay? So, how do you identify what version you're on? If you boot up and you're not sure, type cat and then tab out to Etsy OS release. So we are on Debian 12, okay, bookworm. And, the next thing I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and become root because it's just a little bit easier to run the following commands. So I want to show you guys what version of Libvirtd we're using because, again, maybe it's not Debian 12. Maybe it's the Libvirtd that we're using. So Libvirtd -- version or dash, oh, let's just type it out, version. And we're on 9.0.0. Okay. The next thing I want to do is I want to get QM system ARM, and that's because we are running ARM images, and we'll do the same thing. And we're using 7.2.1111. The last thing I want to do is just kind of give the Virt Manager so that we can have a baseline for it as well. And we're using 4.1.1. Now, one thing I need to do real quick before we launch this version, and hopefully I can get to the tools, and it doesn't look like I can. So give me, I'm going to hit pause real quick, and I'm going to go ahead and install the stuff that is missing. And the reason, guys, that I'm pausing it is there should be an area where I could go in and add stuff, but apparently, hold on, let me see if I can, yeah, oh, never mind. We can do it this way. Good, good. No need to hit pause. So right now, if I boot it up, it's only going to use graphical. So I want to add it so that it'll look like the 11 one, which is running graphics. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click up on input. We're going to get our tablet. Okay. The next thing is we're still going to go to input. We're going to add our USB keyboard. We're going to go back into hardware again. We're going to add a USB mouse. Okay. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to add graphics, not input, graphics. And Spice is not available on the ARM board, so we're going to go ahead and use VNC. Okay. And that pretty much is it. We already have, oh, added video. Okay, so everything is pretty much set. Okay. And I'm going to turn the overhead off just for a second. Okay, and I should be good to go. Normally you would hit apply. Okay. So if you're running, you'll hit apply. So, all right, we'll keep the overhead off for a second. So now I'm going to hit start. And I swear to God, if this works this time, I'm going to be a little bit upset. This is further along than I had been getting. Okay. The Tiano, or I don't, Tiano Core, I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Forgive me. Usually what I get is unable to boot something. So let's do this real quick. So we're going to force it off real quick. I'm now going to come up here. And that's my vert image. So I'm going to tell it to go ahead and we're going to add a storage device real quick, which was not here. Okay. Under storage, we're going to tell it to use a CD-ROM device. We're going to go to my ISO directory. And I'm going to go ahead and select, see, this is ARM's version of RHEL. Okay. And we're going to hit finish. And then I'm going to select this to move up. All right, and then we're going to come back over here and we're going to hit start. All right, this is what I'm talking about. A second ago, we actually got it where it says it couldn't boot up the image. This is normally what I get. Guess has not initialized the display yet. Okay. And it's going to sit there for the longest time. I don't know why it's not doing that. If we minimize this for a second, and I'm going to come up here to preference real quick and go over to polling. Let's turn on disk IO, network IO, memory stats, hit close. We're going to make this big, and we're going to view, okay, view graphs. Let's go ahead. There's CPU. Okay. So this is CPU usage, and it's high. The host right now is not doing diddly. Let's go ahead and turn on memory. Go ahead and turn on disk I/O, network I/O. Okay, they're not doing anything. And if I come back up here and click here, we're stuck here. Okay. I have tried installing different images and stuff like that. I try to make sure that all the UFI stuff is there. So let's click on this so I can show you. So overview real quick. It is a KVM. We are using ARM. We're emulating with ARM. Okay. There's our virtual machine and the firmware, because we are using UEFI. It's all there. Okay. OS, Red Hat 9. Performance, like I said, the CPU, it's doing something. There's our topology. Okay. And let's just do, okay, you know what? Let's try this. Okay, I'm going to tell it to use 2 sockets, 1 core, 1 thread. Let's hit apply. I'll have to reshut it down, but I don't think that's going to help. Memory is there. Okay, we're going to keep the SATA drive there. Our hard drive is an image. QCOW does not work. Okay, so keep it as a raw. There's our SATA drive. Any advanced. So I don't think this will help, but we'll just leave it as is, and everything else should be fine. So I'm going to come back over here, and I'm going to force it off, and it's forced off. Okay. We're now going to come over here, and we are going to just make sure that our CPUs are now, okay, they're now socket. Okay, we'll see if that helps. And that's because the big little issue. Okay, and it helps. Okay, you can't use it all, they have to be the same. Okay, so hopefully that'll get it. So let's get back over here, and we'll press run. And then usually after some period of time, it will boot up here, and it will, you'll get that core display like you saw a minute ago. So again, this is Debian 12, and it's probably Libvirtd. All right, so let's go ahead. We're gonna force it off because nothing's working. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and shut down. Okay. All right, everything is safe to shut down, so we're gonna take everything out. I'm gonna unplug the Ethernet from the power splitter. Put this up to the side. All right, so again, this is running Bullseye, so let's go ahead, get our Ethernet set up. We'll get our power set up. We'll get our keyboard. mouse, get the Miru device. Whoop, actually goes into this one. Okay. And we're going to put on the power. Okay, I am seeing a power light. Now, the one thing about the desk cube is you, unlike other devices, you plug up until you actually hit the power. It doesn't turn on, and it will takes it about a minute or so to boot up. So, or not a minute or so, a couple of seconds. So hopefully here in a second. There we go. So we're booting up. And I believe that's because it's reading the SPI to see which is the default. Right now I got the eMMC turned off. Dip switch 4, if you turn that on, it actually write protects the eMMC, which is good because even though I do have an SD card in here, okay, I could unplug it and boot into Android, which is on the eMMC, but that doesn't do us any good. All right, so here's our desktop, and let's go ahead and click up here. And just to show you guys, I do have Libvirtd installed, and this is the virtual manager. So let's go ahead and install it. And let's just do one more thing real quick, because that can wait a second. I want to turn down the desktop just a little bit. Okay, hold on. Yeah, I'm going to drop this down to 12, just so you guys can see it better. My capture device, I really need to get a better one. So if you got any recommendations, put it in the comments. Okay. So let's open up Xface Terminal, and we'll go through the same thing like we did with Libvirtd. So we'll become root. All right, so Libvirtd version, and not slursion version. We're 2 versions behind. All right, so give me a second. I actually have a pad that I'm writing this on, because on UglyScale .press, I'm keeping notes because I want to save. So we're 2 versions behind on 11. Okay, and again, I'm gonna try Ubuntu because I like to see what they're on. So we're on 7.0, and my ballpoint is not working, so let me grab a different pen. Okay. All right. So QM system ARM version, and oh, again, we're almost 2 versions behind. So maybe, I'm not sure if I can do it. Maybe if I backport on 12 to these versions, maybe it'll work. Okay, so we're at 5 2.0. All right, last thing, and I don't think Virt managers change much. The only thing I really wish that they would make easy, but I guess when you got Proxmox, it doesn't make sense, is I really wish they make a like a Virt manager web console so that you can manage stuff. Okay. And now we're only about one version behind. So 12 was 4.10 and 11 is 3.2. All right, so there are some differences in the versions, okay? And just to show you guys real quick, let's go ahead and get this come up. Come on. There we go. Okay. So again, our machine type is 5.2 because we are using the system ARM and it's 5.2, but we're using the same architect, we're using the same code, okay? And then OS Rel 9, even though it is 9.4, performance, CPU. We are doing a pass-through. Same number of CPUs. We have 2. Memory is the same. Okay. Boot option. The CD is not installed on this because this one you'll see here in a minute is installed. So there's our tablet, there's our keyboard, there's our mouse, there's VNC, and then there's our virtual monitor. Okay. And if I click start here, okay, there's our options, and it is now starting. Okay. And it does go to this for a second or two. And here in a minute, you will see that it's, see the little dash up in the window? Okay, right there. It's booting. So for right now, until I can figure out what's going on, I'm going to have to stay with Debian 11. Okay, oh, that was one thing. We'll let this boot up. The last thing, just to show you guys. Remember, if you don't know what version you're on, cat etc os release Debian 11 bullseye. Okay. Click back over here and we'll let it boot up. So definitely there's something has changed between 11 and 12. We do see the different versions. So I'm wondering what in what happened with Libvirtd that it's not running. So hold on, control. There we go. Had to get my mouse out of the guest, so let's go ahead. So there you got it. And I know you guys are probably saying, well, what's the big deal, Chuck? I mean, why are you trying to run Virts when it would probably be better just to run Docker containers? Docker containers have their place. But I really want to see how the ARM distros are working. So this is part of the reason that I'm so adamant about getting these Virts working. And plus, okay, when I travel or go somewhere and I got some free time, I like the fact of having a portable lab in my bag. Okay, so got to figure out what's going on. Okay, really do. It's frustrating, especially because look, One of the coolest things that's come out for small board processors here recently is the Rock Chip 3588. Okay. It's powerful. You can do a lot of stuff with it. And the fact that I can run multiple verts on it is awesome. Okay. I just want to be able to do more with it. Okay. So anyway, I'll let you guys know what I figure out, but it's frustrating. I went uh, to Debian 12 because it is the latest and greatest. I also would like to get some of the 3D graphics working because, I want to be able to use applications that utilize it. And when you read some of the documentation, they say it's a lot easier in 12 than it is in 11. But if the virtualization does not work, what's the point? It's frustrating. Okay. So I'll do a follow-up video. Like I said, I'll try it with Ubuntu 24 04 LTS, and let's see if it's having the same thing. The only reason I really do stick with Debian, guys, and you know me, is I always complain about the upgrades about Ubuntu. I really don't consider stable or enterprise class. If you're a developer, have at it. You probably spend a lot of your time fighting and configuring and getting stuff working on it. I want to be able to use the OS for what it was intended for. Okay, but that's going to do it for this video. This is TerraPup. Until next time, wishing everybody peace.